Early edition spoilers for Young and the Restless. Sharon takes a turn for the worst in this episode. Hi everyone, greetings from my channel again. Before we start the video, I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Kindly give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. Weekly spoilers for Young and the Restless reveal that during the week of July 15 to 19, 2024, Sharon Newman is in a panic, and that the show is taking a drastic turn. View the most recent CBS daytime drama spoilers. Early weekly spoilers for Young and the Restless. Sharon Newman is terrified. When Sharon Newman wakes up in a panic on Y and R the following week, she is dozing off on her couch and yells, "What's happening to me?" Yes, she is acting rather strangely these days. She initially believed it was the new bipolar medications she was prescribed by her psychiatrist. On Young and the Restless, she recently discussed it with the doctor. However, it may not be the drug. She is quite afraid and will continue to spiral next week. She may therefore be suffering from an additional ailment that neither she nor her shrink are aware of. It certainly appears to be, as Sharon's situation quickly deteriorates. I and R weekly spoilers. The warpath in the summer. A war quickly intensifies on Young and the Restless while Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, battles her mental health. Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, is furious when she confronts Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, at Society. When she finds out that he is organizing the two-person trip to Paris, she says he must have gone insane. There is now a chance that Claire Grace Howard, Haley Aaron, will be the companion he takes to Paris. It's more likely, though, that he plans to travel abroad with Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell, his son. The fact that Kyle is leaving the Abbott family home has already infuriated Summer. In addition, she is seeing her lawyer to review their custody arrangement. She will therefore probably lose it if she finds out that Kyle is bringing their son abroad. Spoilers for next week's Young and the Restless. The Newman family disintegrates. Victor Newman, Eric Braden, causes a stir in his family on Y and R in the meanwhile. His wife, Nikki Newman, played by Melody Thomas Scott, goes away the following week with their kids, Nick Newman, played by Joshua Morrow, and Victoria Newman, played by Amelia Heinel. Victoria expresses her regret that this has happened. Her mother goes on to explain that she is certain Victor is happy with himself because he is once again receiving what he wants. On Young and the Restless, Victoria expresses her hope that her father won't live to regret it. Nikki goes on to say that she hopes none of them end up regretting it. She is undoubtedly alluding to Victor's plan of retaliation against Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Additionally, he is using Kyle as a weapon against Jack. Y and R continues to be dramatic. Find out what's happening with Sharon Newman on the CBS soap drama by continuing to watch. Young and the Restless early spoilers July 15 to 19. Victor targeted in summer responds forcefully write a 3,000-word creative. I apologize for the misunderstanding earlier. Based on the early teasers for The Young and the Restless for the week of July 15 to 19. This imaginative story revolves around Victor Newman being singled out and Summer Newman retaliating forcefully. Beneath the brilliant radiance of the summer sun, a storm was building in Genoa City. The patriarch of the Newman family, Victor Newman, sat in his Newman Enterprises office, staring at the skyline of the city. He felt an invisible danger approaching despite the size of his dominion, something he hadn't felt in years. Summer Newman, meantime, was pacing her office at Jabot Cosmetics, her thoughts racing. She was tense due to recent changes in her personal life, particularly those involving her estranged husband, Kyle Abbott. However, Summer was a Newman, so she wasn't one to back down. Victor rarely made a mistake with his intuition. He heard rumors of a hostile takeover and reports of strange stock movements. Newman Enterprises was being targeted by someone who was playing for keeps. Victor sought the assistance of Michael Baldwin, his valued confidant, in his determination to expose his enemy. Victor said, Michael, I need you to dig deep. Find out who's behind this, in a tone that was both authoritative and worried. Michael responded, I'll get on it right away, Victor, realizing how serious the matter was. Summer learned that Kyle and Audra Charles were organizing a trip to Paris across town. Her veins were filled with anger and treachery. She lost her temper and confronted Kyle at society. Other customers turned to listen as Summer's voice reverberated throughout the fancy restaurant. A trip for two to Paris? You really have lost your mind, haven't you? Michael, I need you to dig deep. Find out who's behind this, Victor ordered, his voice a mix of authority and concern. I'll get on it right away, Victor, Michael replied, sensing the gravity of the situation. Across town, Summer discovered that Kyle was planning a trip to Paris with Audra Charles. Fury and betrayal coursed through her veins. Confronting Kyle at society, she couldn't contain her anger. A trip for two to Paris? You really have lost your mind, haven't you? Summer's voice echoed through the upscale restaurant, drawing the attention of other patrons. Kyle, taken aback by her outburst, tried to explain. Summer, it's a business trip. Glissade is relocating to Genoa City, and this is part of the transition. But Summer wasn't convinced. The wounds from their past were still fresh, and this felt like another betrayal. Victor called for a family meeting at the Newman Ranch. Nikki, Nick, and Victoria gathered, each sensing the urgency. Someone is trying to undermine our family and our company, Victor began, his tone grave. We need to stand united. Victoria, always the strategist, chimed in. Do we have any leads on who's behind this? Not yet, but Michael is on it, Victor replied. In the meantime, we need to be vigilant. Determined not to let Kyle's actions go unanswered, Summer devised a plan. She reached out to Phyllis, her mother, and a master schemer in her own right. Mom, I need your help, Summer began, laying out the situation. Phyllis's eyes gleamed with mischief. Oh, honey, you came to the right person. Let's show them what we're made of. Together, they plotted to disrupt Kyle and Audra's business dealings, aiming to hit them where it hurt the most, their ambitions. Michael's investigation bore fruit. He discovered that Ian Ward, a notorious conman with a vendetta against the Newmans, was behind the attacks on Newman Enterprises. Ian had been operating from the shadows, using intermediaries to mask his involvement. Victor, it's Ian Ward. He's back, and he's targeting you, Michael reported. Victor's eyes narrowed. That snake, he won't know what hit him. Armed with this knowledge, Victor set a trap for Ian. Using false information about a lucrative deal, he lured Ian into making a move. When Ian took the bait, Victor confronted him. Did you really think you could take me down, Ian? Victor's voice was cold, his presence imposing. Ian smirked. The mighty Victor Newman, always thinking you're untouchable. And yet, here you are, caught in your own web, Victor retorted. Meanwhile, Summer and Phyllis's plan succeeded. They exposed discrepancies in Audra's dealings, leading to a fallout between her and Kyle. Kyle, realizing his mistakes, sought out Summer. Summer, I was wrong. I let my ambition cloud my judgment, Kyle admitted, his eyes filled with regret. Summer, holding her ground, replied, It'll take more than words, Kyle. Prove to me that you've changed. With Ian back behind bars and Newman Enterprises secure, the Newman family breathed a sigh of relief. But the events had left their mark. At Crimson Lights, Sharon Newman experienced a disturbing nightmare, waking up in tears. The trauma of recent events weighed heavily on her, hinting at more challenges to come. Chapter 10. Resilience and Rebuilding. The week had tested the Newmans and those around them, but through resilience. Here's a dramatic and compelling take on The Young and the Restless, with the theme of triple couple trouble, focusing on Adam, Lily, Billy, and more as they navigate breakups, betrayals, and unexpected reunions. Get ready for twists, emotional confrontations, and sizzling drama in Genoa City. Young and the Restless. triple couple trouble, breakups and makeups. In the heart of Genoa City, love and power battles often intertwine, but this week, the tides were more turbulent than ever. Adam Newman stood in his penthouse, gazing out over the skyline, his mind racing. He had spent years trying to prove he was more than his father's shadow, more than the man who always made the wrong choices. But as he poured himself a drink, a lingering thought gnawed at him. Was he destined to ruin every relationship he touched? Meanwhile, Lely Winters sat at society, swirling her wineglass absent-mindedly. Across from her, Billy Abbott leaned back in his chair, his smirk betraying the seriousness of their conversation. "This again, Billy," Lily sighed. "You're always running after some cause or distraction. This time, it's Chelsea. Next time, it'll be something else. I need stability, and you." "And chaos?" Billy finished for her. He shook his head. "You know that's not fair." She gave him a pointed look. "Isn't it?" At another table, Sally Spectra couldn't help but overhear their exchange. She wasn't one to gossip. Well, maybe a little, but she sensed trouble brewing. And in Genoa City, trouble had a way of spreading like wildfire.